Can even the coldest heart melt? When a rich CEO meets a hardworking single mom, everything changes. Join us on this unforgettable journey. If you're excited for this story, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any amazing tales. Logan West was the kind of man people whispered about in boardrooms and exclusive clubs. A billionaire CEO who had built his empire from scratch, Logan was known not only for his ruthless business tactics but for his icy demeanor that seemed impenetrable. His tailored suits, cold steel eyes, and stern expressions had become his signature, a fortress built around a heart long since hardened by betrayal and loss. His story was one of success, but behind the headlines and glossy magazine covers lay a man who had learned to keep his emotions locked away. Years ago, he had loved deeply and lost painfully. The woman he once trusted had shattered his heart and betrayed his confidence. Since then, Logan vowed never to let anyone in again. Love, for him, was a dangerous game, one he was no longer willing to play. In his world, feelings were liabilities. Every relationship he had was a transaction, every interaction a calculated move. He surrounded himself with polished, elegant women, socialites who smiled sweetly but carried hidden agendas. He despised the fake charm, the superficial conversations, and the endless pursuit of wealth and status masquerading as love. At his towering glass office overlooking the city, Logan's life was a cycle of meetings, deals, and endless work. Personal connections were distractions, and he kept everyone at arm's length, including his own family. His penthouse was a minimalist sanctuary, sleek, cold, and void of sentiment. On a typical night, he worked late, running his fingers through his dark hair as he reviewed contracts. The city lights flickered below, a reminder of the empire he had built alone. Logan West was a man in control, or so he thought. Despite the power and wealth, loneliness was his constant companion. The people around him were mere shadows, acquaintances at best. No one saw the man behind the mask of control, the vulnerability buried deep inside. Logan's reputation as a cold-hearted CEO was both a shield and a prison. It kept others away but also isolated him from the very warmth he secretly craved. He told himself it was better this way, to protect his heart, to avoid the pain of betrayal again. And then, on one cold, rainy night, everything changed. A knock at his office door interrupted his solitude. Expecting a delivery man in uniform, he opened the door to find someone completely unexpected, a woman, drenched from the rain, holding a soaked paper bag. She was not the polished, elegant woman he was used to but someone real, raw, and unguarded. Her name was Maya, a hardworking single mom who was out delivering late-night orders to make ends meet. She didn't care about his money or his status. She cared only about the food she had to deliver and getting back to her daughter waiting at home. Logan looked at her and something inside stirred, a feeling he hadn't allowed himself to feel in years. For the first time in a long while, the ice around his heart cracked. That night marked the beginning of an unexpected journey, a journey that would challenge everything Logan believed about love, trust, and himself. Logan West had built his life on control, predictability, and power. But the night Maya Quinn showed up at his office with a late-night food delivery, drenched in rain and exhaustion, none of that mattered anymore. Maya was nothing like the women who typically crossed Logan's path, no designer clothes, no polished smiles or calculated charm. She was a late-night delivery driver, a single mother struggling to make ends meet, and she had just pedaled through a storm to bring him his order. Her tired eyes and soaked clothes told a story Logan couldn't ignore. That evening, Logan's curiosity piqued. There was something honest about Maya, no airs, no pretenses. When she handed him the soggy paper bag, her hands trembling slightly from the cold, Logan felt an unusual warmth flicker inside him. "You shouldn't be out here alone," he said, voice softer than usual. Maya shrugged, brushing rain from her face. "Bills don't wait for better weather," she said simply. "Besides, this job's what keeps my daughter in school." Logan was taken aback by her straightforwardness. In a world full of masks and half-truths, here was someone brutally real. Despite his usual skepticism, he found himself wanting to know more. Over the next few weeks, Logan ordered food from Maya's delivery service more often than he needed to eat. Each time, she arrived soaked or tired but still determined, juggling her work and motherhood with quiet dignity. Their conversations remained brief but genuine. Maya never acted starstruck by his wealth or status, she treated him like any other customer. Logan, in turn, stopped hiding behind his cold facade when she was around. One night, when a sudden downpour stranded Maya outside his building, Logan invited her inside to dry off and wait out the storm. For the first time, they shared more than just a transaction. They shared stories, laughs, and fleeting glances filled with unspoken questions. Logan found himself fascinated by Maya's strength. She carried burdens silently, fought hardships without complaint, and still managed to smile. The walls Logan had built around his heart started to crumble. He realized that behind Maya's tired eyes lay a woman who deserved more than just survival. She deserved happiness. But both knew the gulf between their worlds was vast. Logan was a billionaire CEO, guarded and distant. Maya was a struggling single mom with no illusions of fairy tale romance. Yet, something unexpected had taken root, a connection neither of them saw coming, but both were drawn to with quiet urgency. What began as a chance encounter over a rainy delivery evolved into something neither Logan nor Maya had anticipated. Their conversations moved beyond orders and payments to something deeper, understanding. One evening, Logan invited Maya to join him for coffee in his office break room. It was an unpretentious setting, away from the boardroom's glare and the press's eyes. Here, Logan dropped the CEO act and simply became Logan. Maya was hesitant at first, used to keeping people at a distance, especially those from worlds so different from hers. But something in Logan's quiet sincerity convinced her to stay. They talked about everything, from Maya's struggles raising her daughter Lila alone to Logan's battles with trust and loss. For once, Maya didn't have to pretend or hide her hardships. Logan didn't have to hide his pain behind a mask of indifference. In those quiet moments, Logan saw Maya's resilience, her courage to keep going despite the odds. Maya saw a man who had been hurt but was willing to try again. Their conversations became a lifeline, a refuge from the loneliness that haunted them both. With every cup of coffee shared, Logan's icy demeanor melted a little more. He found himself looking forward to these moments, craving Maya's company in a way that scared him. Maya, too, felt a shift. The walls she had built around her heart began to lower. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to hope that love might be possible, not the glamorous love she read about in books but a real love rooted in respect and honesty. Still, both knew the path ahead would be complicated. Logan's world was filled with expectations and scrutiny. Maya's was filled with responsibilities and fears. But in the warmth of shared conversations and simple coffee, they found a space where two broken hearts could begin to heal. To the outside world, Maya Quinn was a woman who handled life with grace. To those who knew her, she was a single mother juggling multiple jobs, carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. Behind her radiant smile was exhaustion so deep it sometimes felt unbearable. Maya's days started before sunrise and ended long after midnight. Delivering food, working shifts at a diner, and freelancing whenever she could, all to give her daughter Lila a better life. She rarely complained, believing that sacrifices were simply part of motherhood. But there were nights when the loneliness was crushing. Nights when she cried quietly, afraid to let Lila hear. Nights when she wished for someone to share the burden. Logan began to see this side of Maya, the struggles behind the smile. One evening, after a long delivery, Maya confided in him about her fears of failing as a mother, of never escaping the cycle of hardship. "I'm scared," she whispered. "Not just for me, but for her. I want her to have more than I ever did." Logan's heart ached for her. His life of luxury suddenly seemed hollow compared to the battles she faced daily. Without making a fuss, he began helping her in small ways, fixing her bike so she wouldn't have to walk miles, paying for school supplies, offering rides when her shifts ran late. At first, Maya resisted. Pride and past disappointments made her wary of accepting charity from a billionaire CEO. But Logan's support came with no strings attached, just genuine care. Their bond deepened. Maya learned to lean on Logan, and Logan discovered the joy of protecting someone he cared for. Their relationship was no longer just about attraction, it was about partnership, trust, and mutual strength. Love, when it came for Logan and Maya, arrived unannounced and complicated. Their worlds couldn't have been more different, a billionaire CEO and a hardworking single mom, yet their hearts beat in a rhythm neither could deny. Logan found himself drawn not to Maya's beauty but to her spirit, her laughter with Lila, her fierce love, her refusal to be broken. Maya, in turn, saw beyond Logan's cold exterior to the man who wanted to protect, to nurture, to love without fear. But love was never simple. The media caught wind of their relationship, sensationalizing it as a billionaire's whimsy. Gossip columns whispered, investors questioned Logan's focus, and Maya felt the sting of judgment. Yet, they faced the world hand in hand. Logan attended Lila's school plays, and Maya cooked meals in his penthouse. They embraced imperfections, broke down walls, and challenged fears. One night, under the city lights, Logan took Maya's hand and said, "I never thought I'd want this, someone like you." Maya smiled, tears shining. "Neither did I. But here we are." Their journey was far from easy, but it was real. They built a love that broke barriers, between class, pain, and fear, and proved that even the coldest hearts can thaw in the warmth of true connection. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing tales.